So let's talk about empathy exhaustion when it comes to being a therapist. So empathy exhaustion is a real thing. It doesn't matter whether you're a parent, a carer, a therapist, a teacher, whether you're just a working person or a non-working person. Either way, empathy exhaustion is a real thing. However, I do find that there are a lot of therapists that put pressure on themselves when it comes to empathy exhaustion. Empathy exhaustion is also known as compassion fatigue. So it's when a professional regularly engages in empathetic or emotionally demanding work, and you're always listening to your clients and their struggles and providing support. But over time, you can actually accumulate these emotional stresses, and the constant exposure to this kind of environment can have a negative impact on us, especially when they're talking about traumatic experiences, and you get to a stage where the empathy just exhausts. And it's a horrible sensation. I've felt it myself, and perhaps you've felt it on yourself as well. There will be a lot of people that, they're in high stress situations, and empathy exhaustion is becoming more and more apparent when it comes to teachers as well and parents due to our changing cultures and regimes. So when it comes to empathy exhaustion, here's some things that you need to know. You're a good therapist. It's not that you don't care, it's that you haven't recharged in a way that works for you. That's the difference here. You have to recharge. Some therapists can keep going flat out knacker, no worries. And other therapists, like myself, we need to have a little bit on and some time out. And that time out needs to be genuine time out in a way that recharges you. How do you recharge? Do you recharge by going and playing the ukulele? Do you recharge by playing sport? Do you recharge by sitting and reading a book? How do you genuinely recharge? And your recharge is different to everybody else's on the planet. There are people out there who's like, oh, I'd never do that. Of course they wouldn't, because it doesn't recharge them. I'm not a huge fan of constantly reading books. Yeah, I do read the occasional book, but it's not my go-to for relaxation. So how do you recharge? And you have to find how you genuinely recharge and how you can hold that charge for longer periods of time. If you find that you're recharging but it's not holding for a longer period of time, then by all means go and get some hypnosis yourself, because it's freaking amazing. And make sure that the external empathy, like all that stuff that's taking all of that empathy away from you, has been resolved, because you need to have that resolved. Otherwise, that recharge is just going to go flat faster and faster each time. And you're going to get to that stage of burnout where you're like, look, I just don't recharge like I used to. Okay, so if you're experiencing decreased job satisfaction, or it's impeding on your personal life, your relationships, you must learn to set boundaries and disconnect from work. So here's a comeback that you can start working with. When you get those people that are wanting to book in or taking up those recharge times or those personal times, for example, you can say to people, weekends are for family. I know you understand the importance of this. This is one of my favorite comebacks. When people say to me, oh, do you work Saturday and Sunday? I'll just simply say, weekends are for my family. I know you understand the importance of this. So not only am I putting up a boundary, but I'm giving a very soft approach as to what my standards are, and also telling them that you need the time off for your family. One thing I'll always say is we will have to pause and loop back around to this during the scheduled session time. There are some clients that you get that they just exhaust your empathy because they've got so much going on. They're, offloading as such. And there are many, many times where I will say to someone, we will have to pause and loop back around to this during the scheduled session time. This is about me having personal boundaries within my business and ensuring that I'm not running late for the next client either. When you're continuing to do all of these things, you're teaching your clients, your family, absolutely everybody, how to treat you. So for example, if you let your cat jump up on the bench and walk around all over it, and you continue to let them do that, then they're going to go, oh, I can do this more often. Where if you don't want them to do that, you would simply place them on the floor and remind them, don't get on the bench. This is exactly the same with clients and with family and friends. If your client is constantly running late and you say to them, oh, it's okay, you're teaching them that it's okay for them to run late. And it's not okay. It's disrespectful to your time, and then you start running later and later in the day when it comes to your other clients, and then all of a sudden you get that reputation of, doctors are always running late, aren't they? And we need to start nipping that in the bud. So by continuing to, say to a client, look, you can have that extra half an hour to vent out and I'm not going to charge you, etc. You're teaching them that it's completely okay. And you're also teaching your family and friends that you're going to keep giving more and more of your value away, your energy away, and that your clients are worth more towards your burnout than your recharge towards your family and friends. So please look at your empathy exhaustion, and if you find that it's really, really starting to impede in your life, find out ways that you can recharge better. And the reality is that some shit's just gotta go. It's as simple as that. So there are some things that I had to turn around and I'm like, look, I don't have the time for this right now. However, in the future, we may revisit this. So empathy exhaustion is real. It exists in all of us on some level. But is it impeding on you as a therapist, your clients, and your future projection? Think about it. Recharge. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.